Good morning and welcome to Panama. We have made it to the incredible San Blas Islands, where we're going to be spending the next 4 days here in this absolute tropical paradise. Look at the island over there. This place is littered with hundreds of islands. We're off the north coast of Panama in the Caribbean Sea, and the reason we're taking this trip is to make the journey from Panama to Colombia. It's too dangerous due to cartel territory to go by land, so your options are to fly or go by boat. And we've decided to go by boat, and we're going with San Blas Adventures for the very simple reason we're going to sleep on the islands as we get closer and closer to Colombia, and they're going to drop us just over the border in Colombia, and then we've got to navigate our way to the north of Colombia from there. So we came up from Panama City this morning, and it was like a 3-hour bus ride to the northern coast, at which point we took our first trip by boat to island number 1, where we are now. It's 11 AM and we're going to spend about 3 hours here having lunch. There's a lot to look forward to alongside just relaxing in this tropical environment. We're going to be playing schooling some people at some beach volleyball at various points. There's some insane snorkeling as well. And as I said, we're staying on the island, so we're going to be sleeping in hammocks and living the real Panamanian island life for the next few days. I'm very excited. In terms of day-by-day itinerary, what we've got coming up, we've got 2 days on these beautiful, picturesque, postcard perfect, that's a lot of alliteration, paradise San Blas Islands, and then we're going to be moving further and further along the coast, as I said, towards the Indigenous Kuna people who live on these islands. It's not very strictly governed by the Panamanian government, so these guys live pretty autonomously, and we're going to be staying with them on islands that they live on as we make our way further and further along the Panama coastline. And these are our boats here. We've been speedboating across a couple of hours at a time, hopping from island to island, and I found assignment number 1. Check this out. And assignment number 1 is to get to that island over there. So let's do that now. So Anya and Sam are adventurous enough to come and do this with us. So, all crazy enough, yeah. What do you reckon that is, the distance?
200 meters.
Yeah?
With a bit of a current.
We racing? Mission accomplished, we're on the island, and we've been informed by these guys that there's a shark potentially over here next to the shipwreck. Absolute insane way to start. I did not expect to see 2 sharks, that was in the end. Had to dive about 4 meters deep into that cove. Literally, off that island, the shipwreck was maybe 30 meters that way. Off that cliff, as you saw. And the sharks just chilling there, weren't bothered by me disturbing them, didn't want to get too close, but we got a nice good look. And then swam all the way back over again. Just in time to grab a coconut before lunch. So the way that the Kuna families work is they all live in one town, but they rotate on and off these islands. And this family are here for a month, and then they rotate off another one. The daughter said I look like Jean-Claude Van Damme, and she was about 14 years old, so I don't know where she plucked that reference from, but I'll take it. So we got a few coconuts before lunch. Hard to say no in this environment, right? And then freshly prepared salad and a bit of tuna. Definitely going to lose some weight on this trip, but that's the way it goes when you're on desert islands. so you should know I can't resist the urge to play beach volleyball if the opportunity is presented. We got a couple of games in with the lads, 4-on-4 it was. The diamond formation won 2-0 to us, and then the rain came in. Volleyball was cut slightly short. We had to pay our tabs on the island and then make our way to this final island. Well, not final island, but the island where we're staying the night tonight. So we all got absolutely drenched on the way over, managed to get all the sand off of us, and we've made our way to island number 2, equally as beautiful, but you can see the weather's a bit moody behind me. The rain stopped, we're settling in, just played a couple of games of one touch, one bounce. Everyone's unloaded everything off the boat, getting to know each other a bit more, and then we're gonna settle down for dinner in about a couple of hours. We're sleeping on hammocks tonight, so we've just placed all of our stuff into this big hut. We're sleeping all together. My first time sleeping overnight in a hammock. I tried to check into a hostel once at 2 AM and they said no bueno, so I ended up sleeping that night in a hammock, but it wasn't a full night. This one is gonna be a full night. Absolute paradise, to be fair. What a belter of a first day. Well, hello there, good morning and welcome to day 2 in the San Blas Islands. What an interesting sleep that was, let me tell you. So I'm next to Pete and cameraman Mike, and the hammocks were so much closer together than any of us expected. So in the middle of the night, you would kind of like nudge and touch each other if you swang or anything like that. And there was one point, it was like 3 AM, I felt something really close to my knee and I was thinking, what could be so close to my knee? It's definitely not him because the hammock can't be that close. So I like go to put my hand on it like that. Turns out it was Pete's head. So I do that on his head and he was awake. And he just like grabs my thigh and I wake up and I'm like, okay, that was a human. Definitely don't do that, Adam. But we got some decent sleep in. So we all gathered and congregated for a lovely breakfast. It's always on these trips, these 4-day-ish trips where you're thrown in with a bunch of strangers and then all of a sudden as the days go by, you gradually become closer and closer friends. But with this bunch, honestly, we've all got on extremely well. So day 2 in paradise, what's the plan? It's pretty windy, as you can probably hear and see. So we're all just gearing up for the day ahead now. You can see a couple of bags going back on the boat. Everything got wrapped in bin bags because there's no guarantee that nothing's gonna get wet. So all of our personal items are in like dry bags, and then everything that we've kind of packed that we're not going to be using is in massive like double layered bin bags, which is on the front of the boat. We're going to go to another paradise island now and hopefully win another few games of volleyball today. I'll tell you what, that ride over was an absolute nightmare, but stop number 1 on day 2 is a dream. Paradise again. We've made it here to the place we're going to be playing some volleyball and having some lunch. That ride over was about an hour and a half of relentless seawater in my mouth. Not an ideal way to start the day, but we got through it. And the weather looked pretty moody as we were making our way all the way along, getting closer and closer to that Darian Gap forest, the border between Panama and Colombia. We're about 100 kilometers out, almost exactly 100 kilometers out now from that border with Colombia. And all of this region is referred to as the Kuna, which is the land owned by the Kuna people. And it goes about 10 kilometers deep along all of this coastline. As you can see, it's just absolutely thick and dense jungle. Very treacherous place to cross if you're going to cross it by land. Part of the reason why there's no roads joining Panama or Colombia, and also why so many migrants die when they're making their way from Colombia up Central and towards North America, because of how inhospitable that environment is, combined with the kind of underworld cartel operations that go on those lands. If you're wondering why it's called the Darian Gap, so am I to some extent, but I do know that the Darian project is what the Scottish referred to as their project when they tried to colonize Panama in what was around, I've got no internet connection, they tried to colonize Panama in around the 1600s. I'll put the exact date on the screen. And that failed monumentally. It took them a couple of years, 80% of the population died. They spent over 20% of the Scottish GDP trying to do so. It was a monumental failure, but obviously the name has stuck, the Darian project name, and it's still called the Darian Gap to this day. So we've landed in paradise, everyone's just chilling, and we've got the whole day, so it's 11:15. I'm gonna rope some people into a volleyball game, and we're gonna enjoy our time on this incredible series of islands.
Hi.
He
got there.
Can you redo this? I felt nervous. But it's not nervous.
Oh, nice. This place is paradise. I didn't film lunch because I was too hungry. Got a nice workout in. A few overhead handstand push-ups and some press-ups. Can't complain. Tipped it down at some points after we played volleyball. Very temperamental weather, but it's not a bad thing because it means you get just as much sun as you do get rain. Now we've just had a super chill afternoon and we're headed to one more destination before we go where we're camping tonight. Give it a scrub, mate. Give it a scrub.
Feels like a broth.
We have just landed, ignore the scarf. We've just landed on a tiny island, our second last stop of the day, and we've been told we're in for a cultural activity of some sort. They've got a turkey here, a couple of half-plucked chickens almost, and a couple of pigs in a cage. Everyone's giving the pigs some attention now, giving them a stroke. One of them loved it, rolling over on its belly. But yeah, we've been told to hang around here. We've got about an hour on this one. The family living here are pretty chill. Yeah, like I say, we've got a cultural activity to look forward to. Undisclosed cultural activity. Let's have some fun, hopefully. As long as it's not dancing. Good morning and welcome to day 3. We're marooned on a desert island. Not quite, but almost. That's certainly what it felt like. So we arrived here last night quite close to sunset. Don't ask me what went on with that traditional clothing. The music was a nightmare. We were shown how to do a traditional Kuna dance and song, and yeah, pretty interesting. Everyone looked ridiculous. It was a nice cultural stop before the end of the day, and then the rain came in pretty hard and it was just super overcast like this but rainy, but I like that because we're staying in these huts. It's like relative luxury compared to where we've been the last couple of days, obviously in hammocks and showering, like trying to throw fresh water on us. We actually had like a little trickle of water today, so managed to get a freshwater shower again. This is the layout of the situation. It's pretty windy once you get onto these islands, especially first thing in the morning. Look how much the palm trees are moving, just super windy, and the waves are rolling in quick from over here. 3 of us in there, few in there, few in there, few in there, and then that's where we're eating. So we're leaving in an hour to go to the next islands, and the last couple of days you've seen have just been absolute perfect beaches. And today, as we move further along the Darian Gap and along the Panamanian coast towards the Colombian border, the islands get slightly less like perfect picturesque in terms of the white sand and the palm trees, but they're still absolutely beautiful. And so we're going to move through a couple of those today, and I'm very excited.
2, 3, 4, 1, 6, 8, has he got 10? 9. Ah, yeah, happy days.
Back in paradise. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Welcome back to paradise after 2 hours on that boat. Presented with a fresh coconut on arrival, a free fresh coconut. Managed to get all the flesh off of this one. I had a hard one before, but this one was lovely. Making the most, getting that fat back on me. And they've got volleyball here as well, which is fantastic news. Everyone is just chilling now. I'll show you what this place looks like very shortly, but those dolphins on the way, what a pleasant surprise. They came so close to the boat. Captain just saw them as we were whizzing through, so we like kind of circled around a bit. They were jumping either side of us. Very cool surprise. I think they were spinner dolphins. Another animal ticked off, sharks and dolphins on the same trip.
Lifeguard Adam, going to save the ball. His favourite thing on the trip.
Perfect. Smash those keepy uppies. What do you think? Not kicked a football in about 6 years. Mike, impressed?
Very impressed.
For a big old lump. Sweat and salt water in my eyes is not an ideal combination.
See ya.
Okay, our time on that island is up. We're heading now to the community where we're going to be staying the night, and I'm getting a nice free taxi. Making our way over. Good morning from an overcast New Caledonia. The Scottish colonisation might have failed, but the name certainly stuck. This place is called Caledonia, and the school that we visited yesterday is actually coloured in white and blue, same as the Scottish flag, so they did something right. We had a lovely tour of the place yesterday. Not quite the San Blas Island tropical paradise, but incredible to be immersed into this Kuna culture. We were shown a traditional Kuna dance, which was fantastic, far better than the one that we imitated on the island the day before. There's 900 people living on this island in this settlement, and 300 of which are kids, so super healthy population. And we got attacked by a lot of those kids last night. They were trying to see how many of them I could lift up on both arms. I think I managed 5 at one point, and just playing like hat wars, running around with them on our backs. So kids are the same everywhere. It was great fun. Got shown the school, got shown like all the main common areas of the town, and then this is obviously the basketball court that I'm standing on now. Here we go, I'm being harassed now. Hola. Buenos días.
Hola. Buenos días.
¿Cómo estás? How are you?
Bien.
Muy bien.
Bien. Chatin. Chatin. Chatin.
Chatin. You have a basketball?
Ajá. Bola. No chatin bola.
¿Dónde es bola?
Allá.
Okay. These are the kids from yesterday. I'm in a bit of a hurry. I've got to get back now to the boat because we're leaving. We've got to do immigration to get into Colombia today. This is our last stop in Panama. See? Perfecto.
Mellita en mortales. Solos mellitas, solos mellitas.
Okay. Gracias. Ciao. That wasn't me harassing the girls, that was them obviously. Right, so we're all ready to board the boat now. And we should have one nice final stop, like one nice beach just after immigration into Colombia. Can take a few hours apparently. We've got to obviously exit Panama, got our passports and copies with us, and then get over to Colombia where we're gonna stay our final night in a town called Capagana. But there's a nice beach town called Sapzuro just before. And that's a wrap. We've made it to Colombia finally after 4 days of hopping across these San Blas Islands. It's a welcome relief. We're still here illegally actually. We need to go to the next town. We're in Sapzuro currently, and we need to hop across to the next town, which is like a 10-minute boat ride to Capagana, where we're going to be staying the night and getting our immigration sorted. And then it's still not Christmas for us, so I know Christmas is a little while ago for you, but then we need to make our way up to Cartagena and Santa Marta, where we're going to have a lovely Christmas. Thank you very much for joining this 4-day adventure through some of the most picturesque islands that I've ever been to. Those perfect, why does all alliteration start with a P? Perfect, picturesque, palm tree places. Anyway, that's enough from me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed your little insight into the Kuna people as well. And I will see you on the next adventure.